iPower Evening Show.
iPower Evening Show.
iPower's on Stefan Mason, keeping it old school on the IPES.
Now on the iPower Evening Show.
Lives forever altered. New video showing the chaotic scene where Jacob Blake on the ground struggles with police officers before he walks around his vehicle and is shot multiple times in the back.
They shot my son 7 times. 7 times. Like he didn't matter. But my son matters.
His family is hurting. He loves his family. I just want my brother.
Still in intensive care. Blake now paralyzed from the waist down, likely a permanent injury.
Those bullets severed his spinal cord and shattered some of his vertebrae. It is going to take a miracle for Jacob Blake Jr. to ever walk again.
Blake's attorney calling for action.
We are demanding that the prosecutor arrest the officer who shot Jacob Blake, and we also are asking that these officers who violated the policies in their training be terminated immediately.
The Department of Justice announcing an investigation into the incident, but so far offering few details about the events that led up to the shooting. The man who took one of the viral videos shares what he witnessed, but did not capture on camera.
Well, I just seen him walk in the house behind one of these women that was outside. I stepped away and I came back and I see the police wrestling him, and I was kind of confused because it happened so quick.
We may never see exactly what happened before the disturbing moment because police in Kenosha do not have body-worn cameras. But city leaders are promising justice will prevail.
People will be held responsible for their actions, and we will know the truth.
Blake's family demanding justice, not just for Jacob, but his 3 children, now traumatized, they say, by what they witnessed.
They are stuck right now. We're going to seek out some of the best child psychologists in the United States, and we're going to work with them and let the whole picture that it plays over and over in front of their little faces. All my grandson asked repeatedly is, why did the police shoot my daddy in the back?
We're going to get justice. We're going to demand justice. But we're going to do that without tearing up our own communities.
Still, protests erupted in destruction for the second night, a familiar scene of tear gas, smoke bombs, and fires. Protesters clashing with police and the National Guard. Kenosha waking up to destruction, another community rocked by police violence.
If Jacob knew what was going on as far as that goes, the violence and the destruction, he would be very unpleased.
The frustration from yet another black man shot by police felt far outside of Wisconsin.
Why does it always have to get to a point where we see the guns firing and his family is there, the kids are there? We are scared as black people in America. Black men, black women, black kids, we are terrified.
Well, you heard it. That was the family of 29-year-old Jacob Blake Jr., who was shot 7 times and now is paralyzed from the waist down. The Blake family is now suing the police department along with the city of Kenosha, Wisconsin. There have been protests, marching, even burning down buildings and looting, of course. These are all way too familiar. We saw it in Minneapolis. We see it in New York. We see it in Atlanta, Chicago, L.A., Boston. These police killings of victims, mostly African Americans, are climbing one by one. Thank God this young man is still alive, but paralyzed, unfortunately. And before I get to Stefan's guests, who we spoke to last night, when will this all end? That's my question. Because it seems like police officers, some, are trained to just arrest white people alive, but make sure you kill as much black people as you can by emptying your magazine revolver. That is how I see it, and some other African Americans see it that way. Now, I know some critics out there, and of course, public opinion, whether it's on the street or on social media, say that, oh, he was a criminal and a bad father. First of all, you don't know that. Second of all, black people being convicted by public opinion without a trial by some of these white racist bigots for years when skin color plays a role in these census executions, and then cover it up by saying this doesn't have anything to do with race. And we all know that's a lie, because it has a lot to do with race when you automatically see African Americans, black people, as criminals.
And black people can obey the law and go by the officer's commands all they want. But there's no guarantee you walking out of there alive, knowing you have 3 or 4 guns pointed in your face.
Right.
And this is what LeBron James is so sick of seeing black people get gunned down like animals from a preconceived notion.
And with us on the phone right now, and we haven't had him on in a minute, his name is Professor Jeff Richards from Cambridge, Massachusetts. I like to call him our own Dick Gregory. God rest that brother's soul. Dick Gregory will never be forgotten.
Nope.
That's my brother. When anytime Dick Gregory talks, I shut up.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Professor Jeff, welcome back, brother.
Praise and blessings to you, my brothers.
Hey.
May God bless you every time you use the time that Almighty God gave you to reach out, not just to black folk and African Americans, but everybody, regardless of race, religion, nationality, or sexual orientation, listening to this online radio station everywhere, nation and worldwide.
All right. Professor Jeff, you and I, along with other blacks, African Americans, seeing what's going on in this world, especially here in the United States, with innocent people of color, black, brown, murdered by the hands of law enforcement. Why do these things keep on happening to us? And why our rogue and racist cops continue to get away with murder without even being held responsible nor accountable, or even charged for that matter?
Well, that all depends who we put in political office, who runs the legislation, whether state or Congress, who we put on the Supreme Court bench from a city, county, state, or federal level. You hear me?
Right.
Do you know that the majority of white folks attend these meetings in their cities, counties, towns, and help decide what is needed, what is allowed, and what is not?
Absolutely.
These majority of white folk attend these meetings faithfully.
All the time.
Because when their voices are heard loud and clear, the lawmakers will listen. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
They decide, let's keep A, B, C, and D, and let's eliminate W, X, Y, and Z. You hear me, brothers?
Yes.
Here's another example. White folks in their neighborhood refuse to allow law enforcement to kill any white folks.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's necessary to do so. If that family's life from that neighborhood was harmed or threatened. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Those officers are forbidden to point their guns at white children trying to apprehend a suspect using precaution. You hear me?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
There are neighborhood watchers in these white communities where drugs and prostitution is not allowed on their streets.
Right.
Doesn't mean it ain't happening inside their homes where all that activity is done on the inside instead of the outside, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So to answer
Yeah.
your question on why police continue to kill us in our communities is because the majority of black people don't attend these legislative meetings from all city, state, and federal levels where our black voices can be heard in order to prevent things like police officers killing black people. That's why voting matters, okay?
Absolutely.
Because if you don't attend these meetings like our white folks do, as their lawmakers vote on A, B, C, or D, then your city, county, or state will look at black folks as like, these important meetings don't mean nothing to black folks.
Right.
And when we, as black folks, ignore our own interests for major change, when the majority of us don't attend these important meetings, then don't expect some of these racist and rogue cops on the force to change their own preconceived notion on how they see black people. And we're not hesitate to kill us animals to them.
You ain't never lied.
Black Lives Matter should not just be about protesting and marching. Yes, that's a good thing.
Absolutely, but we
hold
still
on,
got to
hold
do
on a
more.
minute,
Right.
brother. Hold on. Taking Black Lives Matter out onto the streets is to get media attention as opportunists for the cable news network, like local news, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
Where the hell's the change at? What change?
There's no change, really.
No.
The mainstream media can't change the laws.
No.
They just want the big, huge TV ratings to call their newscast number one in local news or cable news. You hear
That's a
me?
damn shame.
They don't give a damn about Black Lives Matter.
Hell no.
No.
All the news media sees as open opportunities to make their local news or cable news number one in their cities.
Wow.
See what I mean?
Wow.
Don't fall for that bullshit.
No.
It does not hurt law enforcement. It only reinforces their power to come in as the military.
That's right.
And believe me, they are the military, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Professor Jeff, my brother. I've been telling black people that it's good to march, protest, chant Black Lives Matter. That's all good. But if you're not at them legislation meetings on a city, state, or federal level, your black lives will never be heard because the lawmakers will think that your black lives don't matter. And it's up to us African Americans and black folks to make our lives matter to them by attending these public legislation meetings in order to make our voices and our lives matter. Because without doing that, what is the sense of marching and protesting?
Exactly.
We can't change these current laws ourselves that are killing black people unless we attend these meetings to make sure there's a new law for us and people of color that will prevent rogue and racist cops to think twice before unloading their magazines on us, like we saw with Jacob Blake Jr.
All right, Ricky, Professor Jeff, hold it right there.
Okay.
When we come back, more with Professor Jeff here on the IPES. Good evening.
iPower Zone, Stefan Mason, live in the High Planet Studios, keeping it old school on the IPES.
Now on the iPower Evening Show.
This is Keeping It Old School with Stefan Mason. Stefan is on vacay. He'll be back next week. Right now, I'm here with Unpretty Ricky remotely due to the pandemic. With us on the phone is our brother from another mother, Professor Jeff. Now, Brother Jeff, the 2020 presidential election is Tuesday, November 3rd. Some African Americans, black people, love the decision that presidential candidate Joe Biden made to have Senator Kamala Harris of California, a black female vice presidential candidate. What is your take on that?
Presidential candidate Joe Biden didn't just want any black woman for vice president. He wanted somebody who he thinks will win the presidency.
Right.
Now, when you look at Senator Kamala Harris, she's half Jamaican and half Southeast Asian, right?
Correct.
Now, some of these Negroes are saying that Kamala Harris is not black because she's Jamaican, right?
Right.
Well, last time I remember, Jamaican people are black.
Exactly.
The West Indian island of Jamaica is predominantly black, okay?
Yes.
So once again, this is nothing but a distraction because she's a woman and she black, okay?
You ain't lying.
Right.
And speaking of Kamala Harris, let me tell you the real reason why Biden picked Kamala Harris for VP. Besides Joe knowing who Senator Harris is, Joe's late son, Bo, has known Senator Harris and became good friends. But it's more than meets the eye about Biden's pick for VP, okay?
Right.
Just like President Obama was elected before he was elected in 2008 and re-elected in 2012. The reason why Senator Kamala Harris was chosen is because of her skin tone.
What?
You hear me?
No way.
You, brother.
The lighter you are, the more electable she can become the first black female vice president. You hear me?
Hey, work for Obama.
Now, let me break it down on why Kamala has a chance of winning alongside Joe Biden. Number one, like I said, she light-skinned. Number two, her husband white.
I figured that.
Her husband white. You see where I'm coming from? But hold on. Number three, Kamala Harris graduated not only Howard University in 1986, but also graduated from UC Hastings College of Law in her hometown in San Francisco back in 1989. And number four, just like how Barack Obama had major connections with white folks at Harvard Law School, was one of the reasons why Obama got elected to the White House in the first place, and not just by the majority of the black vote. Senator Kamala Harris has similar connections to white folks at these law schools that Obama had.
Of course. Oh, man.
So there you go. Joe Biden wasn't stupid. It don't have nothing to do with his racial remarks towards black folks in the past, and corrects himself for saying something foolish about black folk.
Right.
He picked Kamala Harris because she light-skinned, like Obama, and has a better chance of winning to please the Democratic Party. Okay, let's face it, the Democrats wanted a light-skinned black woman.
Wow.
That was similar to Obama's complexion. Huh?
I'm not surprised.
Nope.
They don't want no black Wesley Snipes or Whoopi Goldberg for no VP.
That was wrong, brother. No, you wrong for that, brother. You wrong.
No. That's how politics is. And the Democratic Party ain't no different from the Republican Party, okay?
Right.
Both races as hell. Biden and Trump are the same. But the difference is Biden trying to fix his mistakes while Trump is exposing for his white supremacists, okay?
That's right.
But that's how politics is.
So you don't think Joe Biden had a chance with First Lady Michelle Obama?
To answer your question, Ricky, why would First Lady Michelle Obama want to be vice president with Joe Biden when she did all 8 years with her husband, Barack Obama? That sister was more than just a first lady, okay? She was our vice president, too, in her own way.
Really?
Forget Joe Biden being the vice president for 8 years. Michelle Obama did her part, so she don't need to be vice president, okay?
Professor Jeff, what is your take on Kanye West? And what is your take on Nick Cannon for allegedly attacking Jews verbally?
Well, before I get to Kanye West, let me talk for a minute about Nick Cannon.
Sure.
Nick Cannon created the TV show called Wildin' Out, right?
Correct.
He is the host and one of the executive producers of that show, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Nick was accused of saying something on his podcast that was anti-Semitic about the Jews. As a result of that, had his show canceled from off CBS Viacom, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Now, Nick Cannon wants to sue CBS Viacom for the rights of his TV show creation.
That's right.
Now, here's the problem. If you, as a creator, signed over the rights to CBS Viacom, then you just signed your life away.
What?
You hear me, brothers?
Wow.
I hear you, bro.
Because right now, Nick Cannon may be the creator, but don't own the rights to Wildin' Out.
Wow.
He don't own any percentage.
That brother don't own the rights to Wildin' Out.
That is crazy.
As sad as that is, this brother don't own his own creation.
Wow.
Meaning he cannot take that show anywhere with him once he got fired.
That is so wrong.
He gave up
Wow.
all his creative rights
yeah.
and his own creation to a Jewish major TV corporation that owns MTV, VH1, BT, Nickelodeon. So what does that tell you?
Wow.
Yeah, Nick
Wow.
Cannon made a big, huge mistake selling his own creation.
Oh, you think?
Nick Cannon legally does not own Wildin' Out. Okay?
Right.
You hear me?
Right, I hear
That's
you.
why
Yeah.
I've always said black folks need to own their own businesses.
I agree.
Then you can hire and fire whoever the hell you want.
That's right.
Right now, Nick Cannon does not have the white man's money power to do what he wants.
Has no rights to Wild
Now,
Out. Wow.
as for Kanye, yes, he's mentally ill, but that Negro ain't crazy, okay?
No, he's not.
You hear me?
I hear you, brother.
What Kanye is doing is called retribution towards black folks that hurt him in the past, and also acting a fool as a publicity stunt for Donald Trump clothing sales and album promotions. You hear me?
So this ain't about him running for president.
No, not really.
Really?
This is about Kanye running for president to keep Donald J. Trump in the White House. That's what this is all
Oh,
about.
of course, of
duh.
course.
Because unlike some black folks,
Yeah.
Kanye's money is taking care of him and Kim Kardashian like she really needs the money, okay?
Yeah, right.
But to keep that family together between Kim and Kanye, he ain't worried about y'all Negroes.
No.
He ain't worried about y'all Negroes because he got his.
Yep.
Meaning he's all set financially, okay?
He sure
And
is.
final question, Brother Jeff. Who do you got? Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Who's going to win it all on Tuesday, November 3rd?
Brother, let me break it down. Just like Hillary Clinton in 2016, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will win the popular vote, but will lose to Donald Trump to the Electoral College votes.
Oh,
You hear me?
no.
Unfortunately,
However, Trump will no longer have the support from the Republican U.S. Senate because the Democrats will have both the House and the Senate come January 2021, okay?
I believe it.
And once that happens, you don't think Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer would try and get rid of this man out the White House this time around with both houses run by newly young Democrats?
Of course they will.
Of course.
Trump will lose the battle with both houses, but will win the war remaining in the White House for 4 more years, using all executive powers, bypassing both House and Senate run by Democrats.
What?
No matter how much of a racist, fascist bigot this man is, Donald Trump, as much as I hate to say this, ain't going nowhere.
Professor Jeff, thank you so much, my brother. Love you as always.
Peace and blessings to you, my brothers, and we'll talk again.
All right, take care and be safe, brother.
All right, goodbye, brother.
Be safe, brother.